It is Comrade for Comrade Weather. We have 2 days of moderate risks now. Today is March 14th, 2025. We have a day one moderate, as you can see here. Let me expand it here. We have a moderate risk from a good chunk of southern Iowa all the way down into northern Mississippi and as far west as central Missouri and, well, actually western Iowa technically, and then as far east as extreme east central Indiana. I guess you could say east central. Main concern now is wind and tornadoes. You have this 15 from around St. Louis, Missouri, all the way down towards Tupelo, Mississippi. This definitely includes Paducah, St. Louis, like I said, Tupelo. I think it's actually a bit more where my cursor is, but you're still in a hatched risk no matter what. Also includes Jonesboro, Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee, Mayfield, Kentucky. Those areas are in the 15% hatched. And even if you're in the 10% hatched from like southeast Iowa, it's over here, all the way down to southern Mississippi into southwest Alabama, you're in this 10% hatched area. This includes Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Jackson, Mississippi, and I'm sure Jackson, Tennessee too. I can't remember if it was over here though. Little Rock's actually in the 5%, but it's pretty close to the 10% hatched risk. Anyways, the winds, not the main concern now, because it's also tornadoes also sharing the main concern, but it's been the main concern this entire couple days. It looks like it's going to be a line of storms wrapping around. So, like, here's your low pressure system, then here's your storms. I'm kind of trying to make a line here. That's why the majority of the moderate risk is for wind is right here, and then tornadoes just like right here. And then hail's a risk. It's not the main concern. There is a 30% hatched risk for hail and a little bit of 15 hatched around it. But right now we're worried more about the tornadoes and the wind. The SPC has been going fully out for today and tomorrow. We'll get to tomorrow in just a second. Moderate risk of severe thunderstorms across the mid-Mississippi and portions of the lower Ohio Valley and Mid-South. A regional outbreak of severe storms is likely across the mid-Mississippi Valley into the lower Mississippi Valley, including portions of the lower Ohio Valley and Mid-South. Tornadoes, several of which could be strong, several of which can be strong. Widespread severe gusts ranging from 60 to 100 miles an hour. And scattered large hail up to baseball-sized hail will be possible. So they're not taking any chances with this, and I don't blame them. Alright. Recent model guidance indicates at least widely scattered storms still developing as far south as the Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee border region. Forecasts sound and strongly favor intense supercells capable of large to very large hail and potentially a few strong tornadoes this evening and perhaps continuing into the late evening. Forcing for this ascent will be more nebulous far south into the Gulf coastal plain late. Still, the models suggest at least an isolated supercell development may occur within an increasingly rich and weakly capped boundary layer overnight. They have likewise extended 10% significant tornado probabilities farther south into southern Mississippi to account for this forecast scenario. Moderate buoyancy and large photographs will support a supercell tornado risk with this activity, with it perhaps continuing into early Saturday morning. So, several supercells are possible. Stronger high-level flow over the Mid-South will promote more discrete supercell structures. So this could be more for a threat for strong, perhaps violent, long-track tornadoes in the southern mode tonight into tomorrow morning, which is worst-case scenario because a lot of people will be sleeping by this point. So make sure if you're in the, even if you're in the 2, even if you're in the 5%, but especially if you're in the 10 and the 15% hatched risk, make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings tonight. Make sure your phones are charged. Make sure if you have NOAA weather radios, make sure those are on and charged with batteries in case you lose power. Make sure you, if you have cable, make sure the TV's close to you when you're sleeping. Social media, it's not the primary way, but I think for a lot of people it is nowadays. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go to tomorrow, which I'm definitely sure if it's not today, which I kind of doubt because it's a very rare thing to happen. Tomorrow, I'm pretty damn sure they're going to go high risk for this one. Some people may have seen the 6Z HRRR, and I'll show it in a little bit. 12Z HRRR is getting me some trouble. It's only going up to 15Z for me. I don't know why. And it's 100% complete. Anyways, you have this large area of a 10 and a 15% hatch risk for tornadoes tomorrow. Almost all of Alabama and a good chunk of Mississippi and a good chunk of Georgia in a significant tornado risk, and a good chunk of Louisiana too. The 10% hatch risk expands from extreme south central Kentucky into Nashville, Tennessee, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. This includes New Orleans, this includes Jackson, Mississippi, this includes Nashville, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia. All these areas are under the gun tomorrow. And especially Mississippi and western Alabama, you're under the gun tonight, too, into tomorrow morning. Wind is also the moderate risk. This could form, and this is probably going to form into a line at some point that will cause some strong winds. And hail's also it's not the main concern, but there is a 30 hatched for a good chunk of Mississippi and Louisiana, and a little bit of Arkansas there in the southeast. Again, like I said for everyone else for today, make sure you have multiple ways of receiving warnings, because even some of these in Mississippi and Alabama will likely be early morning action. So you need to really make sure make sure you have something, some ways to receive warnings. Yeah, they're not mincing words with this outlook, and it's from Broyles, our good friend Broyles. There's a moderate risk of severe thunderstorms across parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. Sorry, I'm talking so much, I can't keep talking too much. A tornado outbreak is possible on Saturday across the central Gulf Coast states and deep south into the Tennessee Valley. Numerous significant tornadoes and some long-track tornadoes are expected. They're not possible, they are expected at this point. On Saturday afternoon and evening, centered on eastern Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Widespread damage and wind swaths and scattered large hail are likely. Tornado outbreak possible across parts of the southeast on Saturday. See, I don't think I've seen wording like this since our last high risk. Maybe, well, that was May 6th of 24. Part of me is also thinking, and I don't think I've seen this word in probably since 22, maybe when I first started the channel, which was March 25th. 2021. That was the second high risk that week. Not saying this will happen, but I personally think it's likely that by day 1 tomorrow we will see a high risk. Probably somewhere in the eastern Mississippi, western Alabama area. It looks like they've expanded it because they're getting ready to drop it. Alright. These storms should become severe rather quickly due to large-scale forcing, moderate instability, and strong deep layer wind shear. Supercells of large hail, wind damage, and a tornado threat are expected to develop and move east, northeastward during the afternoon across the central Gulf Coast states and Tennessee Valley. There is morning convection, as I'll show you in a few minutes, but they're confident, the National Weather Service and the SPC are confident that the environment will recover quite quickly. Central Mississippi has mixed layered cape in the 2,000 to 3,500 joules per kilogram range, of 0 to 6 kilometers, shear ascending 80 knots. This is very, very strong wind shear, and these are some large numbers for Cape. This will be very favorable for intense thunderstorms with a threat for tornadoes, wind damage, and large hail. Several tornadic supercells are expected to develop within this cluster by mid to late afternoon as the low-level jet intensifies. Multiple long-track, high-end tornadoes will be possible. Greatest tornado threat is expected to shift into Alabama by early to mid-evening, with a significant tornado threat also impacting portions of Middle Tennessee. In addition, supercells are expected to grow upscale into a development MCS, or mesoconvective system, with potential to produce significant severe wind gusts above 70 knots and large hail. And it will start moving eastward into parts of Georgia, and it should continue overnight for a severe threat into day 3, which right now is just a slight risk, but that can definitely change. So yeah, Broyles, he's well known for issuing the larger upper echelon events. But he's not mincing words. Multiple long track high end tornadoes will be possible. This is quite an interesting situation now. We're no longer talking about 1 or 2 strong violent tornadoes being possible. Now we're talking about multiple, like 5 to 10 long track high end tornadoes could occur tomorrow across the Deep South, across Dixie. Okay, let's go to the models. My voice is already dying, but let's go to the models. We will start. I'm actually going to start at 6Z for the HRRR, because that one had some interesting stuff. Now, 0C had a lot of convection, morning convection, but 6Z seems to clear it up just a little bit. So here's tonight, around 10 p.m. You can see a couple cells are starting to fire off. And you have this line of supercells. You can see these supercells right up here. This could cause some problems, especially Nashville. I would definitely keep an eye on. That would be around 2 to 3 a.m. or 1 to 2 Central. Those are moving through. And then 18Z tomorrow, which is 2 p.m., you have these supercells from the Gulf all the way up into northern Mississippi, and you can see them, they're all rotating. Can I get a photograph on this? No, I cannot. Yeah, they're all rotating, it looks like, all the way from eastern Louisiana, even behind this line, all the way up into northern Mississippi. Could even have some in northern Alabama from the morning. I mean, look at this. This is literally what Broyles was just saying. Multiple long track, high-end tornadoes. Of course, we don't know if these would be the high-end ones, but definitely long track. You can see there's one here all the way to here. Again, this is probably not how it's going to actually look like in reality. This is just a simulation of what it could look like. And then you have these 2 lines. You still have some long track tornadoes into 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central tomorrow. And then it starts to kind of just congeal into a line, but definitely still some QLCS tornadoes, some probably significant ones still occurring within the line as it heads into Atlanta and those areas. Into Montgomery, Alabama, and those areas. But definitely wind would probably start becoming more of a main concern there. I'm actually surprised. Hold on. And I'm wondering if they move that 45 just a bit more east into Georgia in the afternoon update for day 2. Alright, let's go to 12Z. Oh, 12Z is actually working this time. For some reason, it was only going to the 27th hour on my phone, so I don't know what the hell that was. Anyways, here's 12Z Triple R. This just came out about 2 hours ago. See, you got storms as early as 5 o'clock tonight. Starting to form, you have supercells starting to form. You definitely would have a couple significant tornadoes, maybe a few significant tornadoes. 8Z, so this is probably around 5 a.m. Central. Still have supercells starting to fire off. Got this one right here in East Central Mississippi. Said it so many times I can't remember. 12Z, so 8 a.m., 7 a.m. Central, you have some supercells forming. You have the morning convection even firing off some supercells. And yeah, I mean, look at this. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 supercell lines. This is interesting, and you have them all going east, northeast. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting day tomorrow. Look at this: 1, 2, 3 lines of supercells. Long track in the north, long track in the south, long track in the central portions. Yeah, wow. Yeah, and 12ZH Triple R showing like significant tornadoes continuing into Georgia. I wouldn't be surprised they issue an enhanced risk for day 3, which would be Sunday. Yeah, so this is the first time I'm seeing 12ZH Triple R fully. I only got it to the 27th hour, so it'd be right here. So, yeah, this is interesting. This is gonna be an interesting day tomorrow. Let's look at the RAP model, because I like using that for the thermodynamics. So yeah, that's the morning hours, around 5, 6 a.m. And yeah, you can see even with the morning convection, it does recover quite quickly. Yeah, it kind of starts weakening there. That's the surface-based. Mean layer. Quite strong, actually, 2,000 joules per kilogram. That's pretty strong in a couple areas, and close to 3,000. 0.3 kilometer cape. Yeah, those numbers are a bit high in some spots. Yeah, 150. Yeah, that's definitely very supportive of some tornadoes. Yeah, I hate to see what the composite's gonna look like. Yeah, you can see some pink starting to show up in northern Mississippi and central Alabama. And it kind of continues that way into Georgia. Let's look at the STP. Yeah, that's interesting there. I wouldn't say significant tornadoes they're still definitely possible tomorrow morning. But I think the main show is going to be the into the afternoon. Yeah, I mean you got a 7 and 8 on the STP scale, 9, 10s starting to pop up into western Alabama. Definitely a dangerous day tomorrow. I'm just gonna say that. Definitely a dangerous day tomorrow. Lapse rates are much better than they were yesterday, which is yeah. Northern Alabama, I'm not sure about, but definitely southern Alabama or southern Mississippi into southwest Alabama, definitely something of interest there. SR rates are just off the charts. 200, 400, even 500 M2S2. Really crazy things we're seeing here. I'm running out of words. This is going to be an interesting day, both today and tomorrow. if you're in the moderate risk in this area here, or if you're in the enhanced risk, or if you're in the slight, or even in the marginal, if you're in the all those risks tomorrow, make sure you have multiple ways of receiving warnings. Make sure you have your phones charged. Make sure you know who to listen to on social media, which would be your local TV Mets and the National Weather Service. If you have weather radios, make sure those are plugged in and have batteries in them. And yeah, just be ready. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will not be live again. I have to go to the Northeastern Storm Conference in Albany, New York today, so that's why I'm doing the video so early this morning. But you can watch Max Velocity, Ryan Hall, y'all. They're going to be live. I know for a fact that they are. So just make sure you have multiple ways of receiving warnings. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.